going on, everybody? Welcome out to our Wednesday night live stream. Hope we have a couple people to hang out with us tonight. We'll see how it goes. Make sure you let me know if it sounds okay, looks okay, all that good stuff before we get going. We got a couple cool things to talk about tonight. We'll give it a second, make sure we get some people in here. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. So we got good stories and we got bad stories tonight, so we're going to go through both of them. What's up, Sarah? Welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Hopefully everybody's having a good week, though. Let's get into this. So, I figured I'd call the show tonight The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. And I'm the ugly part, right? But, yeah, man. What's up, Brad? Welcome to the show, dude. Glad you could join us. Yeah, so I figured we'd do some good, the bad, the ugly. See how it goes tonight. I have a cool story that was actually sent to me. You know, you guys send me stuff, and there are times that I do use it. So keep sending me stuff. I love it. Tonight we have a really good, feel-good story because I'm tired of talking about bad shit. I do have something bad, but it's on a personal level. We'll get into that first, though. We'll save the good story so we'll get more people in and hanging out with us. I met with a guy yesterday. He was phenomenal. He is a social media manager. I thought, you know what? Maybe it's time, right? Well, I was more looking for like a talent manager, not a social media manager. Now, obviously, I'm not that big yet, but talent managers can actually, you know, get you in positions to get sponsorships and some other stuff and help your, you know, channel, your social media out. So I was like, cool, why not, right? Well, turns out he was actually a social media manager, which means they'll edit your stuff, they'll clip it up, they'll put you know, your main video out, your shorts, your Instagram, your social, you know, what else? TikTok, all that stuff, Facebook. And I'm like, I don't really need that, dude. Like, I mean, I'm trying to get my Instagram and my TikTok and stuff bumping right now. But I don't really need help with that, you know. But I was like, hey, man, just out of curiosity, what are we talking here? And let's just say, I'm not going to throw it out there, but it was pretty goddamn expensive, man. Like, way out of my price range. So I told the guy, though, I said, you know what, man, it was a great vibe. Everything was cool. I said, if it works out, dude, and, you know, man, I ever get to the point where I need this, I'll gladly hit you up. And the only reason I went to him was because he's local. I figured I could trust him. He was local enough that if there was an issue, I could actually meet up with him face-to-face, which would have been really cool. But it's just not really what I was looking for. And we, you know, both agreed that, you know, it wasn't the best fit for me right now, which is fine. Hey, you know what? So yeah, man, I was sent 2 really good stories, tattoo related, this week. And it's already Wednesday. It's only Wednesday. So if you guys hear anything else, you know, you feel like it would be a great story for us to cover on this or on our Sunday night live stream, hit me up. Let me know. Hit it up on Instagram. We have all our socials at the bottom of the screen right now. It's the same name on all of them. So if you have something that you feel like would be a cool story to talk about or whatever, hit me up. Let me know. I do take, you know, stories and suggestions from our listeners because this is a community. We're here to, you know, be a big family, and I like that. You know, I actually had somebody hit me up on TikTok today. You know, thanked me. Boom, boom, boom. I told them, hey, look, I got a YouTube channel I've been running for 2 years. They subscribed today. So I also had somebody in one of my comments today asked me about lineage. Now, I wanted to run this past you guys on what you thought about that. Um, he kind of went down the road of, do you think it's important? Do you not think it's important? You know, is it mandatory? Look, I don't have the immediate answer to that. But I did tell him, though, that I would actually look into doing a possibility of an episode where we kind of covered some lineage. Meaning, how many people can we trace back to Samuel O'Reilly? So if that were the case, you would have to go through like the Moskowitz family. And you could kind of work your way forward. I thought that'd be really cool to do as an episode. There's plenty of other people, man. All honesty, you could do a whole lineage tracing from Burt Grimm. So that's a whole thing right there, because Burt Grimm, apprenticed Bob Shaw. Bob Shaw apprenticed, you know what I'm saying? So like it would just keep going down the line. It'd be pretty badass. As far as lineage and is it important? I don't know. I think so. I think the way I look at it is, here's the perfect way to put this. If you go to college and you go to, let's say, Harvard, and you go to a job interview and the person says, oh, wow, you graduated from Harvard. I graduated from Harvard. And then we'll call you back once we get done all the interviews. And then the next guy comes in and he went to the Philadelphia Community College. Who do you think they're going to go with? Like, if you have the same skill set and all that other stuff and everything seemed cool on the up and up, they're going to go with the guy that they, know from their alma mater. So that's kind of the way I see it. I could be wrong about that, but that's the way I see it. So yeah, it could be important, I guess, it depending on what you were doing with it. But it makes sense, right? Um, you know, I definitely would look into doing that. Some of the people, though, it's going to be really hard to trace. I mean, just like I tell you guys all the time, it's really hard sometimes just to trace information or get B-roll to do episodes, because a lot of it was word of mouth back in the day, and then a lot of it is just lack of pictures. I mean, they weren't really snapping a lot of pictures up until probably like the 50s, 60s in tattoo shops anyway. I mean, look at, Paul Rogers or, Coleman. Like, there's not that many Coleman pictures because, in all due fairness, I mean, there really wasn't, pictures being taken in a shop. Speaking of Coleman, I had a really good, yeah, I saw that, Brad. That looked pretty awesome. So Brad just said he went to Wes Grimm's shop in Kansas City. For you all that don't know, Wes Grimm is Burt Grimm's son, and he also has a Burt Grimm museum out there in Kansas City. So you should go check it out if you're out anywhere close to that. Anyway, I got to interview Mike Schwaggart on what was it, Monday night. So, yep, I even worked on Labor Day, folks, because I'm trying to give you guys the best content out there for tattoo history. It was an interview that I've wanted to do for quite some time. Him and I kind of went back and forth a bunch, and then he finally hit me up and he was like, all right, dude, when we doing this? And I was like, yeah. Because I respect Mike a lot. Mike is one of those guys that he is the gap between the older generation that's still tattooing right now and the newer generation. He is just one of those guys that cherishes history. He loves history. And he's also, we talked about lineage there with him. So Mike Schwaggart episode will be coming up soon. It'll be coming up when I get done doing the Richie Fye interview. I am still editing the Richie Fye thing. I apologize. I'm doing the best I can. Dude, I'm working a day job and doing this as almost essentially another job. I mean, I'm putting as much time into this as almost my day job. So But it'll be up after the Richie Fi episode, so it should be good, man. I mean, this is how much that Mike Schwagert's into history. He named his son Coleman. There you go. He's not a fan of camping, folks, so you know where he got the name. It's funny, man, because I'm doing the Richie episode, and I'm sorry, great grandson. Wes Grimm is great grandson of Bert. Um, Richie Fi did the sit down. He was the instrumental. Him and Schwagert were instrumental in putting together the sit down with Richie Montgomery and all those guys. And when I was, it'll be in the episode, but he talks about at one point where I was like, man, is there anything you would have did different or whatever? And he was like, I wish I would have had mics on everybody where I could have adjusted levels. He's like, because you had a bunch of old guys that were like leaning over and whispering stuff to each other that I wish we would have caught on camera, because they would have been gems, but they just didn't get caught because everybody was talking over top of each other at certain points. And there was one part where Tony Polito is talking about Cap Coleman, and he said that he met Cap Coleman when Cap was working with Tex Peace in Portsmouth. And he said at the time, Cap Coleman was like 90 years old. He said he was like this little crotchety old man, white t-shirt on, blue pants. He had that cap on, unbathed, and somebody said, hey, well, how come you didn't get a tattoo from Coleman? And he said, what, are you fucking kidding me? He was 90 years old. He was tattooing like I tattoo now, meaning, So, yeah, it's interesting if you can actually look at the sit down and kind of, pause it and maybe like turn up the volume here and there. You catch some little nuggets that are thrown in, but pretty cool. Anyway, looks like we got a decent crowd tonight, which is cool, man. I'm happy that you guys you're in on this Wednesday night thing. I was a little worried. I gotta be honest. I was real worried when I came on and I saw it was just me and moderator Nikki hanging out, and then I saw Sarah pop up and I went, all right, cool, here we go. As long as it wasn't just 2 or 3 of us, it's cool. Glad you guys could make it. Anyhow, I do have good news, which is cool, right? We always look for good stuff that's a little bit more upbeat, let's say. We're always talking about the shitty stuff. So this was actually sent to me by Fat Cracker, and I'm actually going to pull up the post so I can read it. Let's see here. It was sent to me, and let me turn that down before I get a copyright strike. So this is a tattoo artist. His name is Benjamin Lloyd. Is a tattoo artist from Auckland. I guess that's New Zealand. Sorry, I don't mean to cough in your ear. Who turned a casual Facebook post into a moving act of kindness, promising to visit Starship Children's Hospital if his post received 50 likes. He was met with over 400,000 likes. And he kept his word. Since 2016, he has returned to the hospital regularly, using an airbrush and non-permanent ink to design temporary tattoos for children. Each piece, made with custom stencils, washes away easily, but leaves behind something lasting to boost a lasting boost of confidence and a spark of joy during difficult days. His inspiration comes from personal experiences as a child. He once covered a burn on his own skin, or recovered from a burn on his own skin, with drawing over it. Now he channels that creativity to bring hope. With the support of hospital staff and community donations, he reaches even more medical centers across New Zealand. There you go. His work shows that art is more than decoration. It can build courage, inspire smiles, and turn hospital wards into spaces of empowerment. How badass is that? So I got a couple of the pictures just so you can see what he's doing. Actually, you know what? Let me make that a little bit bigger. Hold on. Let me see here. Let me see here. Make that bigger so you guys can see it. There we go. I just thought it was really cool, man. There you go. Make it a little bit bigger. So, yeah, man, it's like, I don't want to say it's terminally ill kids, but it's obviously he's working with, children that are in the hospitals, giving them temporary tattoos, giving them a little bit of little smiles. Those are some badass little temporary tattoos, I gotta be honest with you. There you go. So he shows up and does it every year. And the guy's name is Benjamin Lloyd. It does not have his actually it does. So it's at Benjamin _ Lloyd _ returns. I'll put it in the details of the show. So at the end of the show tonight, I'll put it in there. And then if you guys want to check out his Instagram, go check it out, man. Send the dude some love because this is freaking awesome, dude. You gotta really dig this, dude. I love seeing when people go out of their way to do stuff for kids. Hey, that's not the right picture. I'm a huge fan of that. Like I always say to you guys, man, you want to see me get pissed off, dude? Like do something to a kid or to an animal in front of me. I will lose my shit, dude. I don't even care if I get my ass beat. I'm gonna go out like a champ, dude, because I will stick up for people that can't stick up for themselves. Back in the day, pre-COVID, hey Sarah, thank you for the $5 super chat, much appreciated. Back in the day, pre-COVID, I used to do the Toys for Tot run in Philly. Now, the Toys for Tots run was a huge event, man. Like, I would say it was probably like 20, 30,000 bikes would show up. It might even be more than that, to be honest with you, because I know that line just went for miles. And used to meet down on the river in Philly, and then you would ride over to Children's Hospital, and you would go in the main lobby of the hospital to do your donations, where you could actually drop off your toys for the kids. It was from the Salvation Army and the Marines, right? The Marine Corps ran it. But what they used to do was, when you would pull up to the hospital, if the kids were really sick, like if they had any kind of like autoimmune deficiency or whatever, they would put them in the windows so they could see all the bikes coming and they'd be down there waving, right? And then the kids that were maybe not as sick, that maybe didn't have to worry about like being compromised, with a bunch of dirty bikers in there, they would line them up all on the balcony. There was like probably like 6 floors, and they would line them all up, man, and they would all be waving and, thank you. Man, it was like the greatest. It was probably one of the greatest runs I've ever did, being in a club, because you got to see the joy on little kids' faces that were obviously in the hospital. They were sick. They might not even make it home for Christmas because they're sick. It used to be just like one of those things, man. You'd walk out of there and you just feel so freaking awesome. Another one we used to do was there's a school right outside of Philly. It's called the Woods School, and it's for mentally handicapped children and young adults. And there's kids that live there full time, like they don't ever get to go home. And there was a local club from Philly. They used to do this run every year. They set it up, and we used to meet at the Harley dealer, and then we would ride down through the Woods School. Now, this is a big development that kind of bobs and weaves through the whole right? And as you're going around, there's houses for the kids to live in. And, they'd have Santa at the front. And, we'd be riding around. And, if we had our old ladies on the bike, I'm sorry. If we had our wives or girlfriends on a bike, I'm talking like biker lingo, and it's not appropriate. Anyway, your wives or girlfriends are on the bike, they would like throw candy to the kids. And then, you would get to the end, and then, everybody would deposit all their toys. And the kids would actually, Chris Hawkins with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. And the kids would actually make cards for every one of the dudes there. And you're talking about, dude, we're talking 1%er clubs too. Getting choked up because a little kid handed them a card and said, thank you. Dude, is that good shit or what? Like, I'm just getting a little misty-eyed right now talking about it, man. But that's the kind of shit that I love. I'm all about supporting tattoo shops that do like flash night or flash day. Then, where they're doing like $100 bangers, and the shop donates all the money to like SPCA or stuff like that, dude. Like, if anybody out there, man, if you get anything like that, if you're listening to this now, or if you're one of the people that watches after the fact, please hit me up if you have an event like that, because I will push it. I'll push it on my Instagram, I'll push it on our Facebook pages, and I'll push it every live stream until the event happens. So please hit me up. Info tattoosinreview@gmail.com, or send it to me on Instagram. Let me take a swig. Probably shouldn't be drinking soda. I'll be burping. But yeah, dude, anybody does anything like that, please let me know, because I want to support that. I'm all about it, man. If it has anything to do with kids or animals, I'm in. So, all right, let's see here. We got a bunch of people hanging out, talking. We got moderator Nikki, OG Sarah. We got Brad hanging out with us for the first time. Good to see you, brother. I see you all the time on Instagram, which is awesome. Luz is hanging out with us. Got Chris Hawkins, Fat Cracker, Shake City, and I think that's it. Oh, Irish. What's up, man? Irish just showed up. How you doing tonight, Irish? What are you talking about? Very cool. I never thought a tattoo story would make me cry in a good way. Yeah, that is really cool, right? I mean, and he could tattoo as well. Yeah, dude. What's up, Freddie? Good to see you, man. So we do an SPCA benefit every year, walk-in day, and donate 50% of every tattoo done in our local clinic. Dude, so next time you have it, Freddie, hit me up, man. Send it to me on Instagram or whatever, dude. I'll pump the shit out of it. I love hearing about stuff like that. You know what? For anybody that's new here on a Wednesday night, we get sidetracked a lot. It isn't just strictly tattoos. I hope you don't mind. I was saying the other night, dude, what was it? The Powerball was like 1 billion, right? And I was like, man, this is going to be funny, but I was like, dude, I would totally, like, everybody in my family, man, I'd break them off a mil, right? I'd pay off all their bills, break them off a mil. Then I would start, like, my circle of friends, which has gotten quite small. Whatever. But like Justin, man, like I'd buy his building, dude, break him off a mil and be like, dude, you're set, go, right? I was like, dude, I would totally buy like 10 acres, 20 acres, and have a farm where you took in animals. Like here in our area, South Jersey, it's called the Popcorn Park. It's a nonprofit park where you could donate, when you walk in. You don't have to pay, but you can donate. And what they do is they take in animals like they got like a deer with 3 legs, shit like that. That's like the stuff that's wrong with them. Like they were gonna probably put them down or whatever, and they saved them from being put down. I was like, I'd do that, and then maybe I would build like a bunch of houses on the outside to do homeless veterans, right? To give them a place to live because they deserve it, dude. They fought for our country. There's no reason they should be homeless. So put up a bunch of houses around it, right? And then I was like, then you could have a petting zoo where they could pet the. And I, as I was telling the story, I was like, yeah, where they could pet the veterans. And I'm like, whoa, back up. Where they could pet the animals and then the veterans could work there. But how cool would that be, right? Like you'd be killing two really good, you know, birds with one stone right there, man, by having a big ass farm, helping out the animals, helping out the veterans. It would be like a win-win for everybody, dude. And I'd get the joy of just be like walking around a farm with animals that I could pet at any time because I love it. Uh, yeah, what type of tattoos do golden retrievers get, Freddie? Dude, they do have pet vets, right? They got the guys that come out to tattoo like pigs and stuff like that. And don't they all? They also give the neutered or spayed tattoo as well, right? My dog doesn't have that though. And I looked, I didn't see it. She doesn't have one of those. She does have like a weird little scar on her belly though. It was cute, man. When I got her, she was tiny, tiny. I got a black mouth cur, and when I got her, she was little, little, and she's huge now. She's like 80 pounds or something, and I had to take her to get fixed because that was part of the thing where if you adopted her, you had to get her. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So when I went to go pick her up, she was still kind of little drowsy or whatever, and she had a pair of PJs on. It was like a onesie, so she couldn't lick her stitches. But then after all that whatever, I looked to see if she had the tattoo, and she didn't. But yeah, man, definitely let me know about that. I'm in. I What's up, Drag? Holy shit, Drag, you are here, dude. It is what 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning there, right? Dude, Drag hanging out like a champ. We do have some other cool stories though for Sunday. I always, throughout the week, when I get done editing, I try to find stuff that is pertinent to tattooing, that's either news or stories that's entertaining for everyone. And we try to have, a good setup going. So this way, the banner is a little bit better between Justin and I, where we're not sitting around like, but yeah, we'll see. Um, the One of the stories that we're actually doing was sent to me today, so it should be a good show on Sunday. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock. Wow, man, good for you, dude. Are you talking to me, Irish? So I really want to get out to LA. I want to sit in at my boy Baba's shop for a little bit. He said he could figure it out where we could get some people to come there and I could get some interviews done because I don't get to go out on the West Coast too often. He's in Highland Park, right outside of LA, which is, I think, Cracker, tell me if I'm wrong, that's still considered LA. Um, but there's some other people I want to interview while I'm out there if I can. Um, and if I do that, it would be like the first week of December, I think. So I'm not sure if I could pull it off or not, man. I'm running up against it, dude, with finances because of buying gear and stuff for this and getting computers fixed and all that shit. Plus, my own personal vacation. Like if I got to take my wife on vacation, dude, she puts up with my shit all the time with me having to do all this all the time. I barely get to spend any time with her, so I got to at least take a vacation. So that's the problem, right? With me trying to do that heritage. Speaking of, that is let me run those real quick. I didn't copy over it, did I? No, I did not. Heritage Arts Tattoo Show in Roanoke, Virginia, October 10th, 11th, and 12th. They have offered me a booth to do interviews. So if I could do it, I am going to do it. And then also, Frankie Scorpion is also doing her Tattoo Socialite Festival again in Sebring, Florida. She did it. This will be the second year she's doing it. She did it last year, and it was a success. So she is doing it again. So if you can make it out there, support her. She's a really cool veteran tattoo artist. She's been around a long time. And then again, here's the Heritage Arts Tattoo Festival in Roanoke, Virginia. I am trying to make it to that. We'll see what happens there, man. I mean, it's tough, but yeah, so yeah, if I can make it out to LA, there's a reason why it's actually that week that I'm trying to get out there. Baba has a legend sitting in his shop December 7th, 8th, and 9th, I think. So I really want to get out there to do that because that would be one hell of an opportunity for me to interview him. Excuse me. Yeah, so then I also have Sailor Eddie and I are going to make a road trip to Ohio. We are going to go meet up with Debbie Lenz to do an interview with her. Veteran tattoo artist, been around a long time, her and her husband. So we're trying to figure out when we're going to do that. While I'm out there, I'd like to actually hit up the Al Shifley Museum and maybe stop and see Dana Brunson. I'm not sure. But, man, I got all kinds of stuff in the works, fellas and ladies. It's constant. I never get to sit still, man. It's a wonder I even sleep, dude. There are literally some nights I go to bed and I can't even fall asleep because I'm like, I got to remember that. I got to remember that. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, Jesus Christ, I owed Fat Cracker a phone call for probably like a week. I run out of time in a day. Like, I'm literally going to knock off tonight. And when I get done this, I'm going to turn all my shit off. I'm actually going to go hang out with my wife for a little bit, watch a little TV, and hope I can unwind and go to bed. It's just nonstop, man. Let's see here. So he said yes, LA. So there you go, Irish. It would be Highland Park. Are you going to do Norfolk in November? Crow stopped by the shop last week and was hyping it up. Freddie, I probably will not be able to do that this year because it's actually, I think, the week after I get back from my vacation. If you have an opportunity to go to Norfolk, I highly suggest you go. It is probably my favorite tattoo convention as of right now. It reminds me of the old school tattoo conventions where there are pretty well-known tattoo artists that are phenomenal artists and legendary artists all under one roof. No egos, no tattooed attitude. It's just everybody's chill. There's always some really cool exhibits there. They have Chuck Eldridge is there with his wife. Chuck usually does some type of symposium where he talks about history lesson. Last year he did it was the history of Norfolk tattooing. Bezel Books is there. So yeah, it's a really, really good show, man, and it's a really good time. Brad said Table Rock Tattoo Convention and Bike, you will always have a booth. Next October 9th through the 11th. Yeah, dude, I appreciate that, man. I might be up for that. Chris, I am not sure when I'm coming to Ohio, but I am trying to figure that out. It's going to be one of those things where I have to try to get my schedule and Eddie's schedule together, and that's going to be a trip, dude. That's going to be a long 5-hour, 6-hour car ride. Because, Eddie can be loud when he talks. I love him to death, though, man. He tells great stories. Let me know the dates in LA. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Freddie said, Zach Spots, that works for me, is close to Debbie. He loves her. Absolute stone cold legend. Yeah, so um, I guess he brought up Debbie during the interview. She saw the interview that I did with Eddie. She loved it. Eddie said, hey, why don't you let Buck interview you? And she said, absolutely, whenever you guys want to do it. So we're trying to figure that out. Full moon is coming. We have now all conventions coming up too. Yeah, I guess it's coming to that time of year, right? Like it's convention time, right? Now that summer's over, well, that's not necessarily true anymore either. Because with Villain has almost a tattoo convention every month or every other week or some shit. Not bashing them. They're doing their thing, man. This is awesome. I'm just saying, it's not like it used to be where it would be like, you know, there'd be like a season almost. Sarah, I almost forgot. I was down in Asbury, interviewing Schwagert, and he had a guest tattoo artist in from Montreal. I think his name was Pew. I'll have to look it up, but he was totally awesome dude. I didn't know him, and he was like, "Hey man, are you the guy that does the podcast?" And I was like, well, kind of. And I swear to God, I didn't think he was talking about me. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you interviewed Sailor Eddie," and I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I loved it," and I was like, "Dude, you watch my stuff?" He was like, "Yeah, all the time." I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. It still blows my mind that I have people from outside of the area that you know watch my stuff, which blows my mind." Especially if they're from another country. Not that Canada's that far, but I mean, Christ, we got Dragon here from Spain. Any day ending in Y is good here for tattoo conventions. Yeah, pretty much. Laugh out loud. Not all. I've done 8 this year. Wow, Brad. Holy cow, dude. Let me tell you what, Sarah. This dude, he had some really, really clean work. He actually was doing a tattoo on this gentleman's leg. It was badass. Super crisp, super bright. Like, it was a phenomenal tattoo. And what was really cool about him was he actually rode down from Montreal on his bike. And then he was going to like Washington, D.C. next. Then he was going to North Carolina. And then he was going from North Carolina out to Ohio. So like the dude is doing like this huge bike trip. He had a nice road glide. And I was like, wow, man, that's awesome, dude. Good for you. You know who else does that? Big Meese. Big Meese does the... he shows up, man. He'll go from convention to convention, dude. He'll ride his bike. I think when we ran into him at the New York City TatCon, he just rode from like Iowa on his bike to do that convention. God bless you, dude. That's a lot of miles. But I mean, I used to do it too, dude. I used to put, almost 15,000 miles a year on my bike, riding all over Jamoke. But now these days, I don't ride as much as I used to. I'm too busy. And then it seemed like every time I had a chance to ride, it was either A, too freaking hot, or it was pouring. And everybody could sit there and bust my balls about being a fair weather rider, blah, blah, blah. Bro, trust me. I've ridden every goddamn kind of weather, dude. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody no more, dude. I rode home from goddamn Myrtle Beach with the club during a hurricane. And I don't remember which hurricane it was, but the rain was literally coming sideways. I was on my road glide, and I was leaned almost all the way over, and my bike was still going straight because that's how hard the wind was blowing. So you can bust my balls all you want about being a fair weather rider, dude. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody no more. If the weather's shitty, I ain't getting on my bike. I mean, dude, I rode in the snow. Like, that's just not normal. Normal people don't do that. But when you love something, you do it, right? Just like this, man. I'd much rather be sitting on my couch on my fat ass right now, watching my YouTube channels that I love to enjoy so much, but I'd rather spend it with you guys because I love being here. And I love giving back to the community because you guys are awesome. And if it's not for you guys, I got nothing. So I owe you guys big time. Fred said I had a 99 Sportster when I started tattooing, thousands of miles per year, Pennsylvania winters. That's a young man's game. Amen, dude. I'm 51, and I tell you what, dude, when it's like bitter cold, like below 30, and you're riding, man, I remember getting off my bike, dude, and just like my knees and my elbows and my wrists being like super stiff. Because, you figure you're doing 80 miles an hour on a bike and it's only 30 degrees outside. That means it's probably like a negative 20 when you're ripping. So, yeah, I mean, I've ridden in some shitty weather. But yeah, the only good thing about Pennsylvania is we got a bunch of really good roads, man. So, tons of good riding in PA. But, yeah, man, I've ridden all over the country, though. So, got to ride a bunch of really good roads throughout my years of riding. Yeah, so that's the other thing, too, right? So, I had my back operated on 3 years ago, or it might be 4 now. Maybe I think it was 3. I had my spine fused, and I think I was only like 5 months out of surgery, and I got on my bike and went for a rip, and it rained for like 2 seconds, right? And I was going down this road by Justin's shop, actually, and usually you could ride on, there's a set of railroad tracks that goes right down the middle of the road, and normally you could ride on either the left side or the right side of the tracks. Well, there was cars parked on the right, and there was a car coming at me on the left, so I had to kind of go right down the middle of the tracks. I decided, well, I need to get out of these tracks. I'll wait till I go under the bridge. It's dry. Well, as soon as my tire hit those, I went down, dude, and I slid for probably a good 20 feet. Matter of fact, that's how I took that's why I have a scar on my arm. I took the skin right off my arm. My bike did a couple somersaults, and literally, like, I just had back surgery, and the first thing I thought of was get up, dude, because if you don't get up right now, dude, I was so worried that I was gonna like slip one of the pieces of metal and it was gonna cut my spinal cord or something. Because, dude, the thought of not being able to walk, oh man. So yeah, man, needless to say, I'm a little leery about, riding in certain conditions or with certain people. So, all right, Brad, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, dude. Much appreciated, man. I always appreciate the guys that come in and hang out. And, I didn't realize that there was a bunch of guys that tattoo that listen to our show, and they actually listen to it in the background on Sunday nights while they're tattooing. And I have some of them hit me up, and I was like, I didn't even know they were listening or whatever, because if they're not talking in chat, I don't know who's in here, right? I mean, I could see like people are in here, but I don't know like who. And yeah, man, like to have those guys, they're like hitting me up about, different things that we talk about during the show and stuff like that. It's really cool, man. To me, it's like having tattoo artists listen to the show, watch my stuff. It just proves to me I'm going down the right path and I'm doing the right thing. Me and Schwaggart were talking about that on Monday. Like, it would be totally easy for me to go and just bust out all the brand new hot flashy tattoos and be like, this is all the cool hot new shit to get a shit ton of views and whatever. But dude, that's not gonna work for me, man. It's not gonna feed my soul. I'd much rather do what I'm doing right now. Slow and steady wins the race. Just got to keep plugging along, man. Just do the thing, do your thing, and stay true to it. That's all. And the right people will come. The right people will show up. So, and they already started to. So, what more can I ask for? I laid my bike down on a chip and yeah, good. Yeah, dude. The Pennsylvania is notorious for not fixing roads. Instead of fixing roads, sometimes they'll tar and chip roads. Tar and chip, not a problem if you're in a car, but well, it can be a problem, I guess. But if you're on a bike, it's definitely could be a problem. So loose gravel on a road when you're flying down a back road is never good. Uh, but your soul needs Cap Coleman and Mike Malone. There you go, dude. Um, I'm actually thinking about trying to put together a Mike Malone. I think I'm gonna wait till I get back from Hawaii to do that, though. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. So hang in there. Yeah, there's a whole slew of people that I've written down. I write them down as I go, or people ask. I had somebody a while back ask me about doing a Lou the Jew Alberts, episode. It was funny because Schwaggart had said something to me, and I said, no, I won't do an episode on somebody unless they've passed away. And I think I've even said this to Fat Cracker before. Because I've had people ask me, well, why? Why won't you do an episode on, I don't know, Freddie Negretti? And my whole thing is like, if they're still alive, I would much rather interview them and actually sit down and have a conversation with them than to talk about them. It just makes sense to me. I mean, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot. I don't know. But I just told myself from the start that I wasn't going to do an episode on anybody unless they were passed away. Because to me, if they're still living, I can still interview them, or at least try. Not everybody's real receptive to being interviewed. There's just people that aren't into it. Some people just aren't into doing the whole internet thing. I respect that. That's fine. I mean, and then some people just think they're rock stars and they're not interested because, I'm not a big enough channel or whatever. Okay, that's fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. It's cool. Very cool. We got a set of Malone Flash Jerry repaints from Crow last year. Hung them all, and man, people seem to dig them. Freddie Negretti is an absolute legend. Dude, let me tell you something. Mike Schwaggart has so much Coleman Flash. He's actually got Coleman Flash hanging in his bathroom. So when you go to use the restroom at the shop, it's all Coleman Flash. I mean, he has got probably one of the best Flash collections that I've seen with my own two eyes, other than Jay Brown from the Northwest Tattoo Museum. Because, Jay's got Flash from, a lot of West Coast legends. Zeke, the Shaws, Burt Grimm, and then he's also got some East Coast stuff. I know I kind of hooked him up with Tattoo Tony, him and Tattoo Tony from the Central Jersey Tattoo Museum, or, I guess they're trading some stuff. So, it's crazy, man. I could probably pull 15 to 20 really good episodes just on the Jersey Shore area of legendary tattoo artists and shops. I mean, just in the Toms River area alone, Ernie Carafa had his shop there for a long time. He had Paul Rogers working for him. Ed Hardy went there. Malone went there. Eric Inksmith. I mean, there was like the who's who of people that came through that shop at some point. On top of that, you had a bunch of the Coney Island guys that wound up coming to Jersey area. Um, Tony the Pirate Cambria. Um, so it's pretty crazy, man. Like the who's who of the area that's kind of been there. Yeah, so Dana's shop, Dana Brunson has his own little museum there, and it's pretty spectacular. Um, I tell you what, man, Dana's book is. I'm actually looking at it right now. It's sitting on my shelf. That book is freaking amazing. Um, I would love to see his shop just to see the stuff that I've seen in that book. Um, I was actually told, and I could be wrong about this, but I was told that Dana's house has even like nicer stuff because maybe he held back some of that stuff, a little bit more of the pristine stuff. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I was told. So Timmy Tats up this way has a solid, yeah, yep. Uh, yeah, so I definitely I have connections to Timmy, so that's definitely a possibility. You need to make a point to go when you're in Ohio. I have 100% intentions on going there. The only might I don't know if him and Dana get along, so that might be my only setback. I don't know, but it's definitely something. And if I don't happen to make it out there, I would go back out there again just to go to Dana's shop. So it's not like it's that far, dude. It's like a 6 hour ride for me. Also, if you're heading to Ohio, don't forget Rich T from Binkney. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, so when I say the Al Shifley stuff, that's what I'm talking about, Rich T. Uh, he's got the whole Al Shifley collection. So that would definitely be worth it. I owe Tim a trip out there in Pittsburgh as well, because I want to do an episode on his. He's got the Hank Savini exhibit in Pittsburgh. It's from what I understand, it's a pretty impressive collection, and it has a lot of other pretty famous Pittsburgh tattoo artists, which is cool, man. That's my hometown, so I definitely would go. Uh, to do Tahiti Felix is a great shop museum to visit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's in San Diego, right, Cracker? The Tahiti Felix shop. I think it's called Tahiti Felix Classic or something like that. I live about 1.5 hours from Rich T's museum. Oh, dude, right on. You should definitely go, man. He was super nice, dude. I sat with him probably for about 45 minutes to an hour when I was down in Norfolk. And he was totally in about, yeah, come on out, man. Come on out. We'll do it. So that's definitely going to happen at some point, dude. He's such a nice guy, man. Uh, he built me a liner 10 years ago, and it's a beast. Right on. That's cool, man. Yeah, so there's enough local stuff too, where I could, do some traveling that I don't have to go crazy. Um, you know, on my vacation this year, I plan on checking out China Sea, um, and a couple other shops out in Hawaii. So, you know, I definitely want to get out to um, LA though. That's definitely in the works. But I don't know, man. I know I'm rambling now at this point, man. I hope you all had a good night. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining, man. Uh, Again, I'm trying to do something cool on Wednesday nights to you know give back to you guys. You know, and be able to sit and talk with everybody and have a good time, and just we don't have to necessarily always talk about tattoo stuff on Wednesday nights. We'll keep it a little bit more open to all kinds of different stuff that we'll talk about. Sunday nights we always try to stick to tattoo stuff, unless, you know, Justin and I go off on a tangent, like we went on a tangent about music this week. I won't let that happen too much, but on Wednesday nights, man, we could talk about anything. I don't matter to me, man. I would love it for you guys to throw questions and stuff at me, or um, whatever. I want to make sure I'm like interacting with you guys, so um, it'd be cool. But I hope you all have a good night, have a safe week, and I will catch you guys on Sunday. Hopefully, I can get the Richie 5 interview done soon. He's probably like, this son of a bitch, dude. He came up here and it's still not out yet. But I'm working on it. I swear I'm working on it. I'll get it out soon. And if you haven't, man, if you have TikTok, make sure you add me, Tattoos and Review on TikTok. Also, check us out on Instagram, tattoosinreview.com, and Facebook. We got the Two Fat Guys in a Tattoo Shop Facebook page, and we got the Tattoos and Review Facebook page. So check us out on all our socials. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you all will have a good night. Be safe. Peace.